Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel ASP.NET and SQL Academy. In today's video, I will be discussing these 10 important SQL interview questions. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, these questions will help you sharpen your SQL skills. So, let us dive in. In this session, we will learn how to find departments that have more than 2 employees using SQL. We will use group by and having to filter the data. Let us dive in. Our goal is to count how many employees are in each department and display only the departments that have more than 2 employees. We will achieve this using SQL aggregation functions. Here is our sample employees table. We have employees working in different departments like IT, HR, and finance. Our goal is to count the employees in each department and filter out departments with more than 2 employees. This SQL query helps us find departments with more than 2 employees. Let us break it down step by step. First, we use count star to count employees in each department. Then we group the records using group by department. Finally, the having clause filters departments that have less than or equal to 2 employees, keeping only those with more than 2. After running the query, we get this output. The IT department has 4 employees, so it appears in the result. Departments with 2 or fewer employees are excluded. This query is useful in many real-world scenarios. It helps HR teams to analyze department sizes, identify overstaffed or understaffed teams, and optimize workforce distribution. To summarize, we used SQL to count employees in each department and filtered out those with fewer than 3 employees. This is a powerful technique for analyzing workforce data in an organization. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome back to this session. In this session, we will learn how to filter employee details in SQL and exclude employees from the marketing department. Let us get started. Our goal is to retrieve all employees' details but exclude those from the marketing department. We will use the where clause to filter the results. Here is a sample employee table. It contains employees from different departments like IT, HR, marketing, and finance. Our task is to filter out employees from marketing department. This SQL query selects all employee details but excludes those from the marketing department using the not equal to operator. First, we use select star to retrieve all employee details. Then the where clause ensures we exclude employees from the marketing department. After running the query, we get this output. The employees from the marketing department are not included in the result. Another way to achieve the same result is by not in. This is useful when excluding multiple departments. This query is useful in real-world scenarios like filtering specific departments in HR reports, generating salary reports without certain teams, or analyzing department-wise performance. To summarize, We used SQL to filter employee details and exclude the marketing department using both not equal to operator or not in. This is a useful technique in real world applications. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome. In this session, we will learn how to retrieve employee details based on their joining date. Specifically, we will filter employees who joined before April 2020 and after May 2010 using SQL. Let us get started. Our goal is to fetch employee records for those who joined between June 2010 and March 2020. To do this, we will apply SQL date filters using the where clause. Here is our sample employees table. It contains employee details along with their joining date. We need to filter employees who joined between June 2010 and March 2020. This is the SQL query we will use. It selects all employee details where join date is before April 1, 2020 and after May 31, 2010. First, select star retrieves all employee details. Then, the where clause filters employees based on their join date. The AND operator ensures we only get records that satisfy both conditions. After executing the query, we get this output. Employees Bob, Charlie and Emma meet the criteria as they joined between June 2010 and March 2020. Employees Alice and David are excluded since their joining dates are outside this range. An alternative way to achieve the same result is by using the between operator. This makes the query more readable by specifying the start and end date range directly. This query is useful in many real-world scenarios such as filtering employees based on their tenure, generating payroll reports for specific period, or analyzing hiring trends over time. To summarize, we used SQL to filter employees based on their joining date. We applied comparison operators and explored an alternative between method for better readability. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome back. In this session, we will learn how to fetch alternative records from a table using SQL. We will go over practical examples with two approaches using the mode function and row number function. Let us dive in. By alternative records, we mean selecting every other rows from a table. For example, we might want the first, third, fifth and so on. This can be useful when dealing with paged results or sampling data. Here is an example employee table. We will work with this data to fetch alternative records such as Alice, Charlie, Emma and so on. We can use the mode function to select alternative records. This function divides employee ID by 2 and check for the remainder. If the remainder is 1, the row is included. Here is the SQL query. In the query, mode of employee ID, 2 checks if the employee ID is odd. This helps us select every other row starting from the first one. The equal to 1 condition ensures we only get records where the result is odd. After running the mode query, we get the output with every alternate employee record: Alice, Charlie, Emma and Grace. Another method for selecting alternative records is using the row number function. This method assigns a sequential row number to each record and then we filter those with an odd row number. Here, row number assigns a unique row number to each employee based on their employee ID. We then filter the results using the modulus operator to get every alternative record starting from the first. As expected, the query with the row number produces the same result as the mode query: Alice, Charlie, Emma and Grace. Both methods give us alternative records starting from the first. Fetching alternate records can be useful in various scenarios such as data sampling, implementing pagination in web applications, or generating reports that show subsets of data. In conclusion, we have learned 2 ways to fetch alternate records from a table in SQL. We used the mode function and the row number method to filter odd numbered rows. Both approaches are useful depending on your needs. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hello, welcome back. In this session, we will learn how to find duplicate records in a table and how many times each duplicate appears. We will be using SQL functions like group by and having to achieve this. Let us get started. Duplicate records are rows in the table that have the same values in one or more columns. For example, 2 employees may have the same name and department, and we want to know how many such duplicates exist. Here is an example employee table. Notice that Alice appears 3 times in the IT department and Bob appears twice in the HR department. Our goal is to identify these duplicates and count how many times they occur. We can use the following query to find duplicate records. This query groups the records by EMB name and department and counts how many times each combination appears. The having clause filters out those that appear only once, so we only see duplicates. First, we use group by clause to group records by EMB name and department. Then counts how many times each combination appears. The having count greater than 1 condition ensures that we only show the duplicates. After executing the query, we get this output. It shows the employees who appear more than once in the table, along with the count of how many times they appear. Alice is listed as a duplicate with a count of 3 and Bob as a duplicate with a count of 2. Finding duplicate records is useful for data quality checks, ensuring your data doesn't have redundant entries. It can also help in reporting and data cleanup, particularly when preparing your datasets for analysis. If you want to check for duplicates based on multiple columns, you can include them in the group by clause. For example, you could check duplicates for EMB name, department, and join date. To summarize, we used the group by clause to group records by columns, count star to count occurrences, and the having clause to filter for duplicates. This helps in identifying and counting duplicate records in any table. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome back. In this session, we will dive into the merge statement in SQL. The merge statement allows you to combine, insert, update, and delete operations in one go, making it highly efficient for working with the data. Let us explore how it works. The general syntax of the merge statement includes specifying the target table and the source table. The on clause defines the condition to match records. Depending on whether the records match, or you can perform the update, insert, or delete. Let us consider this example. We have a target table called employees and a source table called new data. The merge statement will help us synchronize the data between these two tables. If a record in the target table matches a record in the source table, we can update the data. If not, we can insert new records. If a record is in the target but not in the source, we can delete it. Now, let us see the query in action. The merge statement checks for a match based on employee ID. If there is a match, it updates the department of the employee. If there is no match in the target table, it will insert the new record. Finally, if a record exists in the target table but not in the source, it will be deleted. After executing the merge statement, the employees table is updated. Bob's department has been changed to finance and Charlie has been added as a new employee. Since Bob already existed in the target table, his record was updated instead of being inserted. The merge statement is highly efficient because it combines insert, update, and delete in a single query. This reduces the complexity of your code and can be particularly useful for synchronizing tables or updating data in batch operations. Some common use cases of merge include data synchronization between tables, batch updates, and cleaning up obsolete records. It is preferred for handling scenarios where you need to update or remove records based on conditions in the source table. Keep in mind that while the merge statement is powerful, it can be resource intensive, especially with large data sets. Make sure to handle transactions properly to maintain data integrity. Also, while most RDBMS support merge, the exact syntax might vary. So, always refer to your database documentation. To summarize, the merge statement is a versatile SQL operation that allows you to update, insert, and delete records in a single query. It is ideal for scenarios like data synchronization and batch processing. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hello. In this session, we will learn how to fetch yesterday's date in SQL. We will explore how to do this in different SQL databases. Let us get started. In SQL Server, we can use the getDate function to fetch the current date and time. By subtracting 1 from the result, we get yesterday's date. We then cast it to date to ignore the time part. In MySQL, we use the current date function to get the current date. To get yesterday's date, we subtract an interval of 1 day using the interval keyword. In PostgreSQL, we can use the current date function to get the current date, and to get yesterday's date, we subtract an interval of 1. In Oracle, we use the sysdate function to get the current date and time. By subtracting 1, we get yesterday's date. As you can see, different SQL dialects have different functions and syntaxes to fetch it yesterday's date. The main idea is to subtract 1 day from the current date in all cases. Fetching yesterday's date can be useful in various scenarios like data analysis, generating reports for the previous day, or analyzing log files from yesterday. To summarize, we have covered how to fetch yesterday's date in SQL for different databases. The main concept is the same across platforms, subtracting 1 day from the current date using the respective function for each SQL dialect. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome to this question. In this, we will explore the key differences between a function and a procedure in SQL. These two are both used for executing a set of SQL statements, but they have distinct characteristics. Let us dive in. A function in SQL is designed to perform a specific task and return a value. Functions are often used to compute and return values in queries, and they can be used in expressions like select or while. A procedure, on the other hand, is a collection of SQL statements designed to perform an action like inserting, updating, or deleting data. Procedures do not return values, but they can accept parameters to work with input data. Here is a quick comparison between a function and a procedure. A function always returns a value, whereas a procedure does not. A function can be used directly in SQL queries like select and where, while a procedure cannot. Functions generally accept input parameters, while procedures can handle both input and output parameters. Functions are often used for calculations or data retrieval, whereas procedures are more commonly used for data manipulation operations like insert, update, and delete. Here is an example of a function in SQL. This function getEmployee salary, accept an EMP as input, and return the salary of the employee with that ID. As you can see, it returns a value. In contrast, here is an example of a procedure called update employee salary. It accepts two parameters, EMP and new salary, It updates the employee's salary based on the given ID. Notice that it does not return any value. So, when should you use a function versus a procedure? Use a function when you need to calculate or retrieve specific values and use them in SQL expressions. Use a procedure when you need to perform complex operations like inserting, updating, or deleting data. Procedures are ideal for actions. In summary, a function is used when you need to return a value and perform calculations, while a procedure is used for performing actions like data manipulation. Your choice depends on whether you are focused on returning or manipulating data. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome to this session. In this session, we will be talking about Pragma autonomous transaction in SQL. This is an advanced concept that helps manage transactions in PLSQL. Let us dive into how this works and when you might need it. Pragma autonomous transaction is a special directive in Oracle PLSQL. It allows a subroutine or procedure to run its own transaction independent of the main transaction. This means the autonomous transaction can commit or roll back its changes without impacting the main transaction. Here is how it works. A main transaction begins. The autonomous transaction executes its code. The autonomous transaction commits or rolls back its changes. However, the autonomous transaction does not affect the main transaction in any way. Here is an example of how you can use Pragma autonomous transaction. In this procedure, we update the employee salary. The autonomous transaction allows the commit statement to work independently of any other ongoing transactions. Here are the key features of an autonomous transaction. It allows an independent commit or rollback, meaning the changes in the autonomous transaction will not be rolled back if the main transaction fails. It is not dependent on the main transaction, making it useful for operations like logging or audit trails where you need the changes to persist regardless of the main transaction's success or failure. You might use Pragma autonomous transaction in the following scenarios: for logging events even if the main transaction fails, to maintain audit trails ensuring changes are captured regardless of the main transaction's success, when making independent updates to databases that should not affect the main transaction. You might use Pragma autonomous transaction in the following scenarios: for logging events even if the main transaction fails, to maintain audit trails ensuring changes are captured regardless of the main transaction's success, when making independent updates to databases that should not affect the main transaction. Here is a common use case. This procedure logs the status of a transaction by inserting a record into the transaction logs table. Since the logging is independent, the commit happens even if the main transaction fails. Let us summarize the advantages and disadvantages of using Pragma autonomous transaction. Advantages: independent control of transaction, useful for logging and audit purposes. ensures important changes are saved even if the main transaction fails. Disadvantages: if not used properly, it can lead to inconsistent data. Overuse can make transactions difficult to manage and lead to problems. In conclusion, Pragma Autonomous Transaction is a powerful tool in Oracle SQL for managing independent transactions. It is particularly useful for logging and auditing, but should be used carefully to avoid data inconsistencies. Thank you for watching. Let us go to next session. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Welcome to this session. In this session, we will see how to fetch unique departments from the employee table in SQL. This is a common requirement when you want to list only distinct departments without duplicates. Let us get started. In an employee table, you might have multiple employees in the same department, and if you want to get a list of unique departments, you need to filter out the duplicates. This is common in reporting or when analyzing department wise data. To fetch unique departments, we can use distinct keyword in SQL. The distinct keyword ensures that only unique values are returned. Here is the SQL query you use. Select a distinct department from employee. This will give us all unique departments names in the employee table. Let us break down the query. Select retrieves the data we want. Distinct ensures that only unique values are returned. Department is the column containing department names. From employee specify the table we are querying. Here is an example of the output after running the query. We get a list of unique departments like HR, finance, marketing, IT, and sales. Even if the table contains duplicate entries for these departments, the query will return only one record for each. You should use the distinct keyword when you want to remove duplicates from your result set or when you need a list of unique values from a specific column like we did it with the department names here. In conclusion, the distinct keyword is a powerful tool in SQL that helps you retrieve only unique values. It is especially useful when fetching unique departments or other data from a table. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share.